Hello, I'm Pal Howie, and one more tip about PTSD if you're experiencing it. I know that sometimes it feels overwhelming and it feels like it's never going to end, and I think that's where it has a lot in common with grief. And sometimes it just feels so painful, and it can hit you at times when you think you're over it. But in my experience, every episode that we have of PTSD, every time we experience anxiety or fear, it's really going through it, okay, like grief. So although it feels like we might be stuck, we're actually moving through. We are doing the work. We are letting go of that trauma, and we are moving through it. And that's so important to remember when it feels overwhelming, when it feels like it's never going to end. It does. It is a process that we're moving through. There is a beginning, there is a middle, and there is an end. And I've experienced some very intense PTSD, and I've learned to deal better with episodes when they come up. And I don't suffer in the way that I used to. I don't have that PTSD that I had before. There are times I can still be triggered. And recently, it's funny, I feel like I'm dealing with the trauma of the pandemic a lot at the moment because I moved house a few months ago. And as I was leaving the old house, feelings were really coming up that I hadn't allowed myself to feel. Like I was in the bathroom and I remember feeling so trapped during lockdown, and just those feelings were coming up very powerfully. And then when I moved into the new house, it was a blank slate. And being in that safe new space, suddenly a lot of those emotions and those feelings were coming up. And I had to remind myself that it was perfectly normal that once we move into a safe new space, often it allows us to heal and to allow that old trauma to come up and be released. And we can set it free, and when we do that, we set ourselves free to move on and enjoy life. So I hope this helps. There's more information down the bottom in YouTube, and you can always message me or ask questions, and please feel free to do so, because I love to share what I've learned and what I've experienced and help other people to move through, because PTSD is something that we struggle with, and we don't really understand it very well. And often when we talk about things like triggers, we can feel as if perhaps we're not doing things correctly, as if we're failing, if we're triggered. And I don't believe that. In my experience, when we are triggered, it really is a wonderful opportunity to allow things to come out of us, to detox. And it's very important that we don't try and repress those feelings. It's very important that we don't try and treat ourselves as if we're doing something wrong, or if there's something wrong with us. Instead, it's like grieving. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. Allow yourself to move through. And don't be afraid if you're experiencing PTSD. Don't be afraid of the fear, as we said. Allow it to come out. Let it go. Release it and move on. Take care. Bye.